Vasse Felix was the first vineyard and winery to be established in the Margaret River region. It was planted in 1967. Since then, it has built its reputation on the belief that wine should be unique, distinctive, and expressive of their surroundings. Vasse Felix continues to be one of the most highly reviewed and visited wineries in Australia, with an exquisite restaurant, a welcoming cellar door, and a beautiful art gallery, combining to provide visitors with an unforgettable Margaret River experience.
Paul, we're in a very special place in the history of Margaret River, aren't we?
We are, Ray. This is where it all started for the modern wine industry in Margaret River. In the mid-60s, Dr. Tom Cullity, he bought this bit of property here, and in 1967 he planted the first vines in Margaret River, and shortly afterwards built the first winery in Margaret River.
So that was 42 years ago. What varieties did Tom plant back then? And I mean, he would have just been fishing around, probably finding whatever he could to put in the ground.
That's right, Ray. He didn't know what varieties would perform best here, so he planted a fruit salad of varieties. We now have over 100 hectares under vine, and of that about 55 is here as part of our estate in Williabrup on the ridge here. And our wines are sold all over Australia, and we export to over 30 countries around the world. My father bought Vasse Felix in 1987, and it's a funny story. It was actually advertised for sale in the paper. My mother had brought in the newspapers one morning, was reading the paper to my father, and came across an advertisement that said Vasse Felix was for sale. And my father said, well, let's buy it. And I think it was bought the next day.
So you're sort of the custodian, really, and it's an important role, isn't it, of a special piece of history in Margaret River?
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it, and I think that's shared by everyone here at Vasse Felix. We understand that Tom Cullity started Vasse Felix, and in doing so, he started something very significant, an amazing thing he started for Margaret River wine region. In everything that we do, we're very mindful of that history, and we try and do it justice.
So what is it about Margaret River and this area in particular that makes it so good for growing high quality grapes?
Remarkable sunshine, but the sea breeze is the most significant thing that we've got. And you look at the little river streams that come through Margaret River, and they're all focusing out towards the ocean, and the sea breeze comes in from that southwest, and it's the coolest breeze coming across the coolest ocean, which cools the fruit down. So even though you've got beautiful sunlight, the leaves are still photosynthesising, the fruit's ripening beautifully, you end up with this beautiful cooling sea breeze, so the fruit never cooks. And that's magic. There's not a place in the world that grows Cabernet and Chardonnay as high quality as we can do here.
One of the wines we've got here today is the blend of Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc, which you've actually taken to another level of sophistication, haven't you?
Now, we wanted to make a wine that was a slightly different style, and it had a bit of cutting-edge complexity that was interesting to the wine connoisseur. It wasn't just yep, that's a lovely wine, beautiful, I can drink bucket loads of it. It's a wine that you stick your nose in and you keep wanting to stick your nose in because it's exciting.
Chardonnay, what about that?
Chardonnay is a chameleon. It takes on the characters of its environment. First, we start off with the most beautiful Chardonnay sites around here, and then we end up giving it the most stunning environment. And we're fortunate, I guess, at Vasse Felix that we've got a beautiful environment. We've got the most beautiful French oak. We've got a beautiful winery, it's pristine, everything we do is controlled. Natural fermentation kicks off all by itself because we find the vineyards around here incredibly healthy. What we end up with is, I guess, the beautiful fruit with layers of complex grape solidsy characters, natural fermentation and stunning French oak.
In Vasse Felix, you've got some very old Cabernet vines to work with, and that's manifests itself in that wine, isn't it?
What is it, over 35 years of making Cabernet Sauvignon at Vasse Felix. You'd think we've got a bit of experience and we know what we're talking about. But we are absolutely committed to making not just the best Cabernet in Margaret River, but Australia and the world.
Aaron Carr has been the chef here at Vasse Felix for 15 years. Long time, Aaron.
Yes, indeed.
When you're trying to match wine and food, what are you looking for?
You know, we've got such a rich array of local produce in the region, so we look at that. And also the season, what's in season, what's available at the markets, local, fresh, and the best quality produce that we can find.
Well, you must be doing something right to be here 15 years, but I won't go into that.
Well, I hope so.
What I wanted to do was look at, say, one of the signature dishes and that you do with Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc, the classic blend that Vasse Felix has done so well.
Yeah.
So what have we got here?
A yellow duck curry with grilled eggplant, green papaya. Sort of the SBS is quite citrusy and acidic. Goes fantastic with those sort of Thai flavours.
Okay, so Chardonnay, it's a little richer, a little more powerful. What have you chosen for that?
We've chosen an Iberico jamón, Spanish ham, aged for 48 months, fed on black acorns, organic. It's supposed to be the best ham in the world. That's what we sort of do at Vasse Felix. We buy the best produce, let the produce speak for itself. Compressed melon, so melon that's been compressed under a vacuum pack machine. Compressed all the fibres down. And so the old classic, ham and melon.
And Cabernet, I guess, has to be red meat.
Cabernet and lamb, pretty much a classic, food and wine match. Lamb shoulder, sous vide, red wine jus. Great winter lunch meal, matched obviously with a Margaret River Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a sort of classic.
Match made in heaven, really, isn't it? And I guess as I'm never going to get to heaven, I might just pop out here and eat this one now.
Have some lamb.
Yeah, I think so.